Welcome. I'm really glad you're here. If life has been feeling loud, busy, or overwhelming lately, this video is for you. Today, we're going to talk about monk-inspired practices that can help you create real calm in the middle of a hectic modern life. Do you ever feel like your days blur together, as if you're running non-stop but never really arriving anywhere? You wake up already behind, move from one obligation to the next, and fall into bed exhausted, wondering where the day went. Even when you finally stop, your mind doesn't. It keeps racing through unfinished tasks, worries, and plans for tomorrow. Maybe you crave just one quiet moment. Not a vacation or a total life reset, just a pause, a deep breath, a sense that you're not constantly being pulled in a dozen directions by work, family, messages, and expectations. That feeling of calm can seem out of reach in a world that never slows down. In this video, we're exploring monk-inspired practices that were shaped in environments of simplicity and focus, yet are surprisingly practical for modern life. This isn't about withdrawing from society, changing your identity, or living by extreme rules. You don't need to shave your head, wear robes, or retreat to a monastery. Instead, we'll look at how ancient wisdom can be translated into small, realistic habits that fit into your existing routine. Simple ways to breathe, pause, and reset your mind so stress doesn't run the show. These practices are designed to help you find genuine, lasting peace right where you are, even in the middle of a busy, demanding life. Modern life rarely slows down. Notifications never stop, responsibilities stack up, and quiet moments can feel like a luxury. Yet for centuries, monks have lived amid far fewer distractions while cultivating a deep, steady sense of calm. Their practices weren't designed for comfort or escape, but for clarity, presence, and inner balance. The good news is that these principles don't require a monastery or hours of free time. They can adapt to real, busy lives. At the heart of monk-inspired living is mindfulness. This begins with something simple and always available: the breath. Mindful breathing isn't about forcing relaxation. It's about noticing each inhale and exhale, even for 30 seconds, and letting the nervous system settle naturally. Practiced regularly, this small habit creates space between stress and reaction, making daily challenges feel more manageable. One of the most fundamental monk-inspired practices is conscious breathing. It's simple, quiet, and always available. Monks use the breath as an anchor, a way to bring the mind out of constant thinking and back into the present moment. There's no special technique required to begin. Just noticing the inhale and the exhale is enough to interrupt mental noise and create a sense of steadiness. In modern life, this practice fits more easily than most people expect. You don't need a meditation cushion or a silent room. A single minute of focused breathing can be done while sitting in traffic, riding public transport, waiting for a meeting to start, or standing in line at the store. You gently slow the breath, breathe in through the nose, let the lungs fill fully, then exhale without forcing it. For 60 seconds, your only task is to breathe and notice. These short pauses have immediate physical effects. Slower breathing signals the nervous system that it's safe to relax. Heart rate begins to drop. Stress hormones like cortisol decrease. Muscles unclench. The body shifts out of fight or flight mode and into a calmer state. Even if the surrounding environment stays busy, over time, these small moments add up. Regular, brief breathing breaks train the body to recover from stress more quickly. Instead of carrying tension all day, You create natural resets that support clearer thinking, steadier emotions, and a greater sense of control. Mindful breathing becomes less of a task and more of a quiet tool you can return to whenever life starts to feel overwhelming. The pressure to do more never really lets up. No matter how much you accomplish, there's always another task waiting, another message to answer, another responsibility pulling at your attention. Many people live with a quiet sense of overwhelm, feeling stretched thin and never fully caught up. It's not a personal failure. It's the rhythm of modern life. Our days are shaped by constant stimulation. Notifications interrupt our focus, deadlines compress our time, and screens keep our minds switched on long after the workday ends. Even moments that should feel restful are often filled with scrolling, checking, or worrying about what comes next. Over time, this non-stop mental activity leads to exhaustion, irritability, and a lingering sense of unease. What makes this cycle so difficult to break is that it feels normal. Busyness is rewarded. Slowing down can feel irresponsible or even impossible. Yet staying in this state comes at a cost, gradually draining energy, clarity, and emotional balance. This is where ancient wisdom offers an unexpected counterbalance. Long before modern technology and packed schedules, monks developed ways of living that trained the mind to remain calm and focused, even in challenging conditions. Their practices weren't about escaping effort, but about relating to effort differently. By drawing from these time-tested principles, it's possible to step off the hamster wheel without abandoning your responsibilities. These ideas offer simple, practical ways to interrupt the cycle of constant urgency and bring a sense of steadiness back into everyday life. In many monk traditions, gratitude isn't treated as a reaction to good circumstances. It's a daily discipline, a way of training the mind to see what is already present, rather than fixating on what's missing. This intentional shift from lack to abundance softens dissatisfaction and reduces the constant urge for more. Life doesn't suddenly become perfect, but it becomes more balanced and easier to meet with calm in everyday life. Gratitude works best when it's simple and consistent. One effective approach is keeping a small gratitude journal. At the end of the day, write down a few things you appreciated. They don't have to be big moments. A warm meal, a kind message, a quiet drive home, or a task that went smoothly all count. Another option is the 3 good things practice. Before going to sleep, mentally list 3 moments from the day that brought even a small sense of ease or satisfaction. These practices gently redirect attention. Instead of replaying worries or unfinished tasks at night, the mind learns to settle on what went right. This often leads to a calmer mood and makes it easier to fall asleep. Over time, gratitude also influences how you relate to other people. When you're more aware of what you appreciate, you tend to express it more freely. Conversations soften. Patience increases. Relationships feel less strained and more supportive. Gratitude doesn't ignore stress or difficulty. It gives them context. By regularly acknowledging what is steady and nourishing in your life, you create a mental environment that supports emotional resilience, better rest, and deeper connection with others. Monks intentionally live with less, not as a form of punishment, but to protect their attention. By reducing unnecessary possessions, commitments, and noise, they create space for clarity and presence. Simplicity allows the mind to rest. When fewer things compete for attention, it becomes easier to focus on what truly matters. In modern life, deliberate simplicity doesn't mean getting rid of everything you own or rejecting technology. It means being more selective. One practical place to start is digital decluttering. Turning off non-essential notifications, removing apps that encourage constant checking, and setting specific times to read email can significantly reduce mental strain. Even small changes, like keeping the phone out of reach during meals or before bed, help restore a sense of control. Physical space matters too. Cluttered environments often mirror cluttered minds. Creating calm doesn't require complete home makeover. Clearing a desk, organizing a nightstand, or choosing one quiet corner for rest or reflection can have a noticeable effect. These spaces signal to the brain that it's safe to slow down. Simplicity is often misunderstood as deprivation, but it's a choice for freedom. By letting go of excess, you reclaim time, attention, and energy. You're no longer pulled in every direction by distractions that don't serve you. Instead, simplicity creates room for focus, intention, and a quieter, more grounded way of living. Inner peace isn't something you experience once and then keep forever. It's built through repetition. The practices we've explored work not because they're dramatic, but because they gently train the brain over time. Each moment of mindful breathing, gratitude, or simplicity strengthens neural pathways associated with calm, focus, and emotional regulation. With consistency, these pathways become more resilient, making peace a familiar state rather than a rare escape. This is why one-off attempts rarely lead to lasting change. The brain learns through patterns. Small, repeated actions send a clear signal. This is how we respond now. Over time, stress reactions soften, recovery happens faster, and calm becomes easier to access even during challenging moments. Consistency becomes much easier when new habits are linked to existing ones. This is where habit stacking comes in. You might take 3 conscious breaths every time you sit down at your desk. Note one thing you're grateful for while brushing your teeth at night, or put your phone away during your morning coffee. These small pairings reduce friction and help the brain associate calm practices with familiar routines. Creating a personal peace ritual can also support long-term change. This could be a short morning pause, an evening reflection, or a quiet walk without distractions. When these rituals feel rewarding rather than forced, the brain's reward system reinforces them, making it more likely you'll return to them naturally. This is an invitation to begin today, not with perfection, but with intention. Each small practice is a step toward, literally reshaping how your brain responds to stress. Start with one habit. Keep it simple. Let it grow. And if you notice changes in your focus, mood, or sense of calm, share your experience. Your journey might be the encouragement someone else needs to begin their own path toward a quieter, more peaceful inner life. Thank you for taking this time for yourselves. Remember, inner peace is not a goal that you achieve once and for all, but a practice that begins anew with every breath. Which of these steps felt most right for you? Feel free to write me in the comments. If this post has helped you, please support us with a subscription or share the video with someone who could use a little break today. Stay calm, stay with yourself, and see you next time.